Right, welcome back to the Go4GuildWars2 monthly final here for April, as we get into now our grand final to figure out who is going to be the champion, who's going to walk away with €1,000, and as I said before, spend it all on gems, and who's going to walk away with €300 and probably not spend that on gems. So we're going to figure that out right here, right now, as we have TCG going up against 55 HP Monks, who were able to defeat Orange Logo, and in a twist of lineups, that was quite the outcome.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Blackjack, a.k.a. Jigglypuff, and any other Pokemon you want to call him, has basically come over to, has, I guess, left Orange Logo and has joined a team, a pug team, that has just defeated them.
Yeah. So
we don't know a massive amount about it, so I don't want to talk about too much about these guys.
No.
But it seems to be something which has just worked horrendously well.
I guess so.
Is that horrendously well? And, you know, it didn't work out for Orange Logo, unfortunately, in the end. They did replace Blackjack, I think, with Lord Asura in the end as well. We didn't get to that game. Kind of disappointed we didn't cast that as well, but I think we just had an epic 2 games in that last set as well.
Yeah, got to do what you got to do. Just followed on the games that we needed to. And obviously now, with Orange Logo being gone, with our previous monthly champion being eliminated, that opens up the way for TCG or 55 HP Monks. Nobody will live it down or hear the end of it if TCG is able to win again and get back up to the very, very top that they want to. Let's jump into game number 1 now and have a quick look and rundown of what's going on in terms of the build. It looks like on the side of TCG, everything is as it was in the previous game.
Yeah, pretty much. Just double checking those runes there. Vamp runes are still there for the engineers, of course. Drez is still playing over there as well.
Now, with all of that looking similar and the same of what was going on TCG, let's go over to 55 HP Monks. And Skull Kid has Rampage on for this Shout Bow Warrior. I'm not sure whether or not he's going to stick with that. Last time that happened to us, I think they didn't stick with it and swapped it out for the banner before.
Yeah. I mean, he has played Rampage before.
I mean, I want to see it. I want him to do it.
It actually does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And you get a ton of might as well with it. You actually can be you can come out with a lot of CC, and maybe that's what they're thinking about in terms of the 2 engineers, if they can bring back that CC as well.
I mean, if it was me in this position, obviously I would read Rampage, and I would see the first line saying, taking on the form of a massive juggernaut, and then there's a comma, but I don't care about what's after that, because that already sounds fantastic. I want to be a massive juggernaut. I want to be able to do damage. That would be great.
You already are.
And actually, I'm not. You know this as well. Everyone knows that I'm very short.
Nobody knows that.
This is why I wanted to be a massive juggernaut. I'm trying to make up for things.
Nobody knows that in Guild Wars 2.
It's fine. Shush. I'm a short guy.
Chosen Sin's going to be playing DP Thief as well. He's going to be going for Panic Strike. We're not really seeing Executioner anymore, to be honest.
No.
Panic Strike's just a lot more in the meta at the moment. Blinding Powder instead of the Signet there. We're going to go over to Dr. Sheeb. Is that how we're going to say that? Dr. Sheeb?
Dr. Sheeb? Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do. Rifle with
very German.
Vampirism Rune. More than likely, yeah. He apparently... Now... Is this Heba? I don't know, in disguise. Is it someone else? I've been told it's someone who is the second tournament, normally plays Elementalist. I don't know. We are going to move on, though. And Tenskar Nen is also going to be playing Guardian DPS Medigard. Now, I know also Heba plays that. I'm very suspicious that he's in this team somewhere. And then we've got Jigglypuff, who is the man this evening who... must be silently happy, but he's going to be playing Dagger Elementalist, and you know, is very much one of the best. Easily got to be one of the best tacticians in the game as well, and he's very, very useful member of a team to have. And this is what is, you know, I think these guys have got a really good chance if they can take out Orange Logo in that semi-final.
Yeah.
What else can they do?
Exactly. They could quite easily bring the good fight here to TCG and maybe win it. But I'm expecting a 3-mapper here. I really want it to go all the distance. I think we're good to go into this first game on Forest once again to see how well this lineup from 55 HP Monks is going to fare, because it's certainly an interesting one and not what I was expecting to come flying out of the gates. with the mix-up of people like with Blackjack in here on his Jigglypuff and all of these extra members who I'm not exactly sure who they are. And hopefully Skull Kid, please, 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 stick with Rampage. So that would be fantastic stuff to start this best of 3 off.
I see Skull Kid all over the shop at the moment in different teams. He's been very useful, actually, in different teams. He's been playing Hambo, he's been playing Sharpbow Warrior as well. And I think, I think TCG are going to have problems in these sustained fights. You know, they've got the Elementalist over here, of course, being Blackjack. They've got the high damage coming out from Chosen Sin, and then, of course, Tan. And then you've got the CC coming out from Dr. Sheep. So, the Engineer is going to be a nice difference in this fight as well, who can come in and, drop a ton of CC onto these guys. And if you can pin down, Helseth, also Karziz, they're going to have a lot of trouble getting the kills, these guys. Yeah. I think we're just going to have to wait and see when we come into this game, because we've not seen these guys play together, so I don't want to predict exactly how they're going to come out into this map. But I think they're going to cause some issues for TCG.
All right, so it looks like Helseth is back, and we should be good to go here with our teams. And
only 2 people are ready?
Okay, so Zan is apparently lagging. Wait, so... yeah, hopefully this gets fixed pretty soon, but this is going to be interesting. So what's the theory really behind Rampage? I mean, obviously, you do sacrifice the War Banner for that to be able to pick people up and stuff like that, but when I'm thinking about Rampage and how it does work, is there the potential that, he pops this, he's doing a lot of damage, yes, and obviously he has quite a bit of slow potential with that, with the Cripple and the Chill that comes along with it, but couldn't teams just disengage and go elsewhere once that comes along? What's behind this?
I guess to a degree, if he does that and they actually just leave, he's done his job almost.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
A lot of it is also based around the stability, which keeps popping up. It gets those 3 stacks. And then it just keeps reoccurring with that stability change on some abilities, things like Plague as well, of course, and also the Lich Form. How can I forget about that? And, so that's actually another point. But no, we're thinking about how this is going to work. I'm not convinced he's going to use it, but like you said, I kind of would like to see it. I would like to see it.
I would too.
I mean, they've got enough sustain in the team to keep, with that other Elementalist, the extra Juggernaut. The Juggernaut could be quite useful, but Banner is just so strong.
Yeah.
So strong, especially with Shoutbow.
I mean, we saw even just the notions of trying to keep away Knight Jr., for example, in that previous game from getting a Banner down. That's how impactful like that kind of move can be, and how important it is to try and deny something like that from happening. Does Rampage have the same effect here? It remains to be seen. I, at the moment, am slightly skeptical myself, but, Banner's cool, man. Banner's cool.
Well, maybe that's why he's gone for that as well. Maybe, he's heard exactly what happened in the last game, where, Knight couldn't get off that Banner. He literally could not. Like, they were interrupting him so many times. He couldn't get away. He couldn't even bring it into the fight when he came into the node. He had no chance of getting that. So essentially, it was almost a waste through a lot of that game. Obviously, he got a couple of banners off. But, in that situation, it was so needed. And he just couldn't. There was nothing he could do.
I mean,
locked down
we are theorizing this, over and over and trying to think of reasons for it.
And he's going to change the
technically, I mean, that could happen. Technically, I mean, that's our job to actually kind of think through these things. Definitely. But it could be just the case that he really likes Rampage. I mean, that could be another reason as well. And he just finds it in his toolkit very, very useful with the amount of damage that it can actually put out. But, well, on the other side, of course, TCG, in that previous series, looked pretty menacing. They had a really, really good game in that game 2 as well, in how they orchestrated themselves. The coordination was definitely there, I feel, for them to try and push on forward. So I think on the side of TCG, the coordination that they have here and the amount of times that they've played with each other, because, I mean, we've seen, yes, a little bit of a flux and change up in the lineup of TCG, but they're probably really well-versed with playing with each other. Whereas here on the other side for 55 HP Monks, how well-versed are they with each other, do you think?
I mean, as this 5, I wouldn't say massively, because, Chosen Sin's been in and out of 55 HP Monks, going on to different teams where he's been needed. We've seen Skull Kid, you can see he's got the Raw tag there. We've also got these guys as well. Meow, I remember that. And then we've got Dr. Shiba. Again, I probably do know a lot about him, but just because he's got the different name and I can't bring up his account name there, I'm not 100% sure. So someone definitely going to be talking about that in chat, so you can get that info there. And then I just love the fact that they've got some guys who really, really they think about their movement around the map. They've got some great tacticians, but also TCG have the similar kind of thing. You've got like Drazer, who is like master of every class.
Yeah.
He plays everything well. It's so annoying. He can come into the map and pick up that class, know the best situation to use it, and he will be that guy to do that job. But the thing is, because he's playing Warrior today and he's really the main support, he can't do that as much because he has to play that role. I reckon we could see a potential upset. I do.
Yeah.
Just because, they don't know what to expect. But TCG really do have a solid team lineup with what we've seen today.
All right, so we were almost ready to go just then, and then Jigglypuff has to drop out and now try and fix a graphics bug that he does have as well. So they refuse.
They refuse to come in. They're leaving us alone. Stop it. So what does chat think, actually? It might be kind of interesting to know what they think, who they think is going to win. So maybe chuck a hashtag 55 or a hashtag TCG. Or hashtag Juggernauts, depending on what you feel will be the outcome or the winner of this series in the final of the
Juggernaut's too long.
Monthly.
Needs to be hashtag Jugger.
Jug.
Hashtag Jug.
Hashtag Jug.
Whichever you want to do.
Maybe we won't go any further with it.
No, we'll be fine. We'll be totally fine. You have authorized payment for payment. Oh, wow, great. Okay, so I didn't know I was doing that, so nice stuff.
Oh, right. Awesome.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so Jigglypuff is back as we get into this grand final. And it's so funny the way in which the Guild Wars scene works because of how much of a switch-up you see between these rosters and the kind of... everyone really kind of sticks to each other. There's been so many of these members that have been on opposing teams and back and forth and just all these switch arounds trying to find that right composition. For the longest time, Orange Logo was that composition that, kind of brought the amalgamation of players together to be so victorious. Now with Blackjack not on Orange Logo and playing elsewhere, this is going to be quite the series. Quite the series.
I really just want them to ready up so we can just start getting into this game because, like you said, I think there's a lot of excitement built up personally now and for you as well, just watching these guys. I mean, being involved in, WTS and going and seeing Orange Logo win and then meeting some of these people that we see. Like, I've met quite a few of these guys actually now. So it's knowing that story behind these guys and actually, how they're thinking about this. And watching their streams and stuff as well, getting to know these guys and how keen they are to go to WTS, reform teams,
a lot of money,
get strong. Yeah, I mean, it's
Even if you place in last, you still get good money. To be honest with you, so
just want to go.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, we're about to ready up. Good to go into a game at number 1 here between the Civilized Gentlemen and 55 HP Monks for the grand final of the Go4GuildWars2 monthly final. As we're going to get into Forest in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Okay, so let's have a look at this cross happening over on the beach. 4 members coming out from the blue team now. Red team going to cross as well. No one's going to break out of stealth at all. We're going to see also Drazer going towards mid with Helsef picking up the mine. Now, if he does get 2 players splitting over, he's going to leave straight away, leaving that portal. So he will be coming back at some point in time, maybe with Texby to get the quick decap and finish onto someone. Maybe the bleed team will actually think about that combination that's going to happen over there. Now, Jigglypuff is 1v1 versus Drazer, which he's in out of position with his team. So his team, more than likely, are going to start to rotate towards him. Helsef starts to move now as well. But I reckon we might see a little bit of a portal play coming out from him to pull all his members over towards that mine and quickly take it back against the Warrior. There you go. You see it coming out. Good prediction there, but he's going to go down, unfortunately. Does drop the mower down on Skull Kid before. Not able to get any cleave out because of that moment there. Helsef was able to get back up. They're going to be able to cleave down Skull Kid. He needs survival. He needs some assistance. He's got players coming in the distance to help him out here. Tan's in there. He's going to be dropping in as soon as possible. And we are going to see successfully Skull Kid hold on to this point. We're going to see them successfully hold on to mid. But we have actually seen Doctor go down towards the the Henge over there. Zan doing a good job at defending that node, as well as Texby getting the decap there and pressurizing Jiggly off node, aka Blackjack.
Yeah, it was a good survival there by Skull Kid after that Mora had actually gone down. Good movement for him himself. And obviously, still though, TCG have got themselves 2 caps at the moment. The Henge as well as the Keep, everything for them is really going their way on that side of the map. And the entirety of the fighting is over towards mine. So this is going to be quite difficult for them to disperse out and try and get another cap somewhere. Because at the moment, they are being kind of held back for a little bit.
That was a great move from Tan, just dropping the Ring of Warding right onto that Shadow Refuge and locking down a couple of players. They had to get out of that as soon as possible because they know what was coming straight after that. Nice knockback coming out from the updraft from Jigglypuff there to try and interrupt Dreze, and also Texby as well. We're going to have to see Chosen Sin's going to have to back out from that cleave. Just use the short bow. He gets approached there by Helsef in stealth. Chosen Sin barely survives that. Does a great job to do so. Got to watch out for Karzes here, who knows that Chosen Sin's low. Look at Chosen Sin positioning himself perfectly, eventually getting away from Helsef and Karzes there. And they put the damage back onto Texby as the 2 DPS have been focusing so hard on Chosen Sin. Texby might be punished here. And if they can, the massive stun coming out from that supply crate drop from Texby gets the defense up. But look at Karzes now as well. Downstate. Is he going to get the res up with the banner? He does in the end. And Karzes going to bail out. Look at Chosen Sin. Oh, straight onto the back of him and takes him out. He wasted. Oh, the banner is almost wasted there, unfortunately. Great movement from Blue, but TCG still have the lead, just barely.
That was a beautiful to push Kaz's into the downstate the first time from the Churning Earth and then straight the Lightning Flash onto his location. So really, really big damage coming out onto him. And well, for now, still, they've now clawed their way back to the Keep as well as the Mine. The Mine is being contested, though, so really, really fast and furious start here from both of the teams as Zan Helseth as well as Drazir over here to try and contest this. Texby has gone down, though, elsewhere, really in no man's land. There's no chance he's going to be getting up anytime soon, so Tan and those guys can easily leave that. They're going to get the decap on Henge as well. There's nothing to rival Chosen Sin over there.
The blue team are going to start to disengage, I feel, from this, because Jigglypuff and Skull Kid have just gone down. But this is what they've done. Actually, Tan's coming over to potentially offer some support over towards the engineer here, Doctor, who's moving out, and he's getting trailed from behind. He has to use that slick shoes in his wake just to make sure that no one's going to be able to try and trace him out there. You can see Helsef dropping into the node here over on mid. Doctor's coming in. Will he be able to save the decap here from Helsef? He's going to pull out that great sword probably as well in a minute just to make sure he stays off node, but he's going to do a great job of line of sighting there. Good job from him. Zan can come over on bunker on the node, and with Doctor, he's going to hold it. Holding the contention there. They do take that lead as he jumps on the node. He's going to be decapped here. Just wondering if blue team are going to think about a push over towards the mine node as well. As Doctor is very low. He needs some support here from his team. I don't think he's going to get it. He's going to jump into the downstate. But we're also going to see Helsef dropping quite low here, just on the side. Maybe trying to use that as an advantage to try and pick him up as Chosen Sin comes in to potentially get the kill on Helsef. We are going to see Xanon himself coming in to get him down.
Too much cleave. Too much cleave.
3 members there. Tan, Doctor, and Chosen all out of the game at the moment.
Yeah, brutal stuff. Helseth is actually going to fall as well, but I mean, 1 for 3 trade, I'm completely okay with that, and even rally back anyway, so all is good for Helseth on the other side of things. With 3 now down, a great opportunity for them to mount a lot of pressure on towards these extra points that we're seeing. It's going to take a little while. Of course, you know, Henge can technically be rivaled when they're able to get up. It's very, very close to them. It is their home point, so maybe not grab Henge, but at least keep in mind is very, very nice.
Look at Jiggly just trying to get away from Karzes and Helsef there, and successfully does it. He then teams up with the DPS Guardian, who's really a big counter for the Thief there as well. If he can really nail him down, he can take out Karzes here and Helsef at the same time. He does get the nice CC down with that hammer number 3, waiting for that extra hit coming out from him. He's not got anything to close that gap, unfortunately, unless he gets back into that scepter. He's going to just leave him for now, and he does really push away those members. Jigglypuff gets away and gets to go to mid. Yeah,
at least he forced Shadow Refuge to be on cooldown, and now that won't be as useful going in later for around 45 seconds, as Kazes will look to try and find a bit of pickings wherever he can find it. 1 cap for 1 cap at the moment. TCG still having quite a lead in that 50 points, but a lot of fighting going down at Henge, trying to force off anything that will go on down there with Tan as well as Chosen Sin, trying to rival this point, but it's going to be difficult to really push Drazers and San off there.
Yeah, I don't. That's not a good place for those guys to be. They're aware. They're moving back out now. Zan's actually going to push from behind to try and potentially get something out of this, and maybe even make Tan use a couple of cooldowns. Popping off that Scepter free as well is going to lock Zan down for an amount of time. And oh, nice movement there. Oh, so close to getting him down. We are going to see Hellseth at Kazes is going to go into the down state in the end on the point. They can just cleave around him. They don't want to take him out. Obviously, you don't want to go for the down on that thief in this situation. It's way too easy to just cleave him out. We are going to see also Doctor going quite low himself. He's going to drop that heal, and he should be okay here. Not much pressure coming out onto the node. Hellseth's in a bit of trouble as he gets pressured by Chosen Sin as well over on the top there. Needs to be careful, Hellseth. It does pop up that distortion. Is able to get some nice, trying to get that mirror blade off onto Chosen Sin. Unfortunately, not able to in the end.
And those are the kinds of kills that come out. I mean, we already referenced that fight from Kazes down towards the beach where he had to pop Shadow Refuge, and there was 3 seconds or so before he would have had that off cooldown again to maybe try and keep himself alive. Of course, you know there is a lot of cleave there. Well, Skull Kid's actually in the mower over here at the keep, and he's going to have to run away, keep himself alive for now. He's not doing too bad a job of it. Once again, he keeps getting mowed, but they don't bring him down. So really, really good job by Skull Kid to keep himself up.
And we haven't noted that he's got Juggernaut.
Yeah, he does.
He's kept with it. He's stuck with it. And that's what's helped. That's really helped him to stick the node, you know. His HP jumps up. So when he's in those 1v2 situations, his HP is just going to be exponential. He can use that stability permanently proccing on him to actually, you know, hold the node, hold the congestion there as well. He's not even popped. Now he has. He's jumped into it, and now he's going to start doing some damage. He can actually do a lot of CC as well, and he actually can pull right out of it. Just wanted to use that for a short amount of time. We are going to see now Hellseth being tiny bit pressured there, so he has to pop the distortion to make sure he's not going to be cleaved out. Oh, the portal puts him in an odd position, and then he's going to pull back through, but the Burning Tick tops him off as well as just a bit of a Scepter 1 or a Skull Kid move to the face. We are going to see the banner coming out for Hellseth there as well, as he's going to come out unscathed in the end. Needs to be very careful. Skull Kid drops low as well as he goes into the down state. We're going to see a Shadow Refuge dropped with no cleave. Oh, it's just too much cleave for the guys to commit to that. Chosen Sin thinks about it and does a withdraw heal, and just in the end, making a better decision. Pushing the henge more than likely.
Way too close. I mean, about 10 points between them now. They were able to pick up this middle point, but I don't think that's going to keep going on for too soon. They are able to contest it there with Zan able to pick that up. Jigglypuff taking a lot of damage, has to Vapor Form out of that position. Knew that that was so much pressure going down onto him. Chosen Sin trying to rally on around here and maybe get that pickup, and he should be able to. It's too far out for them to really deal with it, but at least it's 2 people out of the fight here for TCG to try and capitalize on this midpoint, but Jigglypuff and Chosen Sin are right back in there.
Kazes jumps straight onto Chosen Sin and takes him out. Good move from him, staying on him. I mean, Chosen Sin actually made a great decision, just to note that at mid as well. Jigglypuff was down here. He then took out Hellseth, who was in the down state, and then he knew that Jigglypuff could Vapor Form, like you said, to the back of the point there. So choosing to do that res instead, Kazes that came down for the look, but he wanted to get his teammate back up as well. So, you know, a couple of good decisions. Unfortunately, Chosen Sin didn't win out in the end there.
Did you see that?
Yeah, 2 caps now going over to TCG. Very, very close game here at the moment in game. I mean, there's only 5 minutes left. And not even approaching, well, not even at the 400 mark at this point, as it's been so back and forth. A big movement over towards Henge, though, here by both of the teams, as Tan's just going to have to roll on out of there for a second. And how much can they really get done here? Hellseth was actually retreating out there for a moment.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be too involved in that cleave. He's trying to jump against the wall there. Just go out of his perspective. Kaz is just going to range on the point, tons of cleave. He's going to drop in there as soon as someone starts to drop quite low. We do see the supply crate drops as well as Drazzy goes down. That's a great kill. Good updraft coming out from Jigglypuff here. They need to get a ton of cleave on that corpse and make sure that he remains down. He is going to be able to get that stomp for sure, but they're actually just going to choose the cleave instead. And Skull Kid just going to finish him off by using that sword here. This is a big change.
Oh,
Kaz goes down as well. So does Hellseth. Zan's about to go as as well. They need to push these nodes hard because they have done that team fight there, and they need to spread across the map and get control very quickly. 4 minutes left in the game, 420 points, almost to the red team. As they come out, they're going to go towards mine. Blue team are going to get that mid cap there. There's still 2 guys waiting to come back into the game. They can do the push to mine, but they have to be defensive as well. Look at Skullkid's positioning. He's doing a good job. He's just watching for the cross. He's not going to the node yet because he knows those respawns are too easy to come and get the decap. Yeah. Good movement from him. Patience from blue team. They can take the lead here, but this is going to go to a boss at the end, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. There is certainly the potential of that. I mean, Svanny has already been engaged, and I'm not sure how well that's going to go for him just yet. They don't want to challenge that too quickly here, just in case it will be contested against.
Distraction.
And Jazir now over towards his Kaz's, as well as a little Helseth, is on the pursuit over towards the mine. That's where the next big fight is going to break out. And Jigglypuff should be able to get this. Look at that, Texby's chasing away, being chased away by Skullkid. So it's all about the mine right now.
Yeah, exactly. We saw the supply crate coming out from Doctor there.
They're going to catch
up.
Helseth
used that distortion shatter as well and knocked him back. It was a good move. He's actually had to pop. Let's just jump into Doctor's perspective here as he comes back onto the point. He's going to go into the downstate. But, you know, I think there's a lot of damage being done to the blue team as well. Just as they start to come back, no one's here. I might pop off the big old bomb and actually get some CC here. Oh no, he's still in the downstate. They want to keep him there as long as possible.
They're on Svanir again. They're going for Svanir. They know that they don't really think that they can get extra catches. They might have to get Svanir and then go over to. Yeah. Oh, okay. So they've got one. They're going to go for the other.
Same.
Yeah, but this is so close.
Oh no! Look at Texby. He's going in for it. We've seen an engineer steal a boss kill before with the condition ticks.
Can they do this?
Oh no!
They need to steal it.
If they do it now, they can win the game. We need to just check out the boss. I can't actually get the HP on him now.
They need to steal.
We're going to see the kill come out. They need to go for this boss. They need so much burst as they can get, as well as CCing. They need to do it now. They've done it. They've won by 3 points, and that is a smashing game from the blue team. Wow.
Very, very close. And it's not as if any team really had huge, strong advantages throughout. It was so close throughout the whole game long. So really, really impressive stuff there from both teams. And as I say, it comes down to that boss kill and trying to steal it. It was so funny. I mean, even, obviously, TCG wanted to go for Svanir itself. They get that, great stuff. But then they're so far away from Chieftain. So far away. It's only Texby there. Trying to get that steal, and
that's the problem with that.
Obviously, they got there in the end.
Yeah, that's the problem with the movement, though, isn't it? It's all that kind of you know, last-ditch effort. We need to try and get a last tick of damage because it's really almost about luck. But I think there was some CC that was coming out onto that node around the boss as well. They just had more members there to pressure Texby, so we couldn't actually put that damage on because Red Team TCG was so far on the other map because they were defending the mine. They had to come back out and they had to go to that boss, get the instant kill as quick as they could, but then, exactly what you said, they couldn't be that mobile to get over the other side, all reliant upon Texby, and unfortunately, in the end, it could have gone either way, really. But blue team just had more members there. They had more bursts. They had more backup.
It's so funny at the very end of that game. Like, for the last 2 minutes, we could have played the Benny Hill music for Texby running away from Skullkid in circles between the henge and the keep. He didn't really want to have any of that.
I did go into Texby's point of view a couple of times, and his face was on the ground.
Yeah, it's just like
CC coming out from the warrior, or also from the engineer. Yeah. So I think they were using that against them quite a lot in that game, playing their own game. Good job. Good job.
Oh, wow. Game number 1 going over to 55 HP Monks here. Very close. 3 points were in it. And obviously, both of these teams knew that those boss kills were going to matter. Very, very important. Really down to the wire. Let's jump now into game number 2 in this best of 3, as we do have Full Fire as our next map. So, fun stuff on the way.
Just going to ask these guys to go when ready.
Yeah, no changes been taken here.
Let's have a look. Let's go over to Skullkid, see if he's changed that banner. That's one of the biggest changes, if anything.
So funny when Skullkid actually pops Rampage, because he's so small to begin with, nothing really changes.
I love the fact that he's not using banner. I think he's great.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
He can be very useful, especially versus this comp with this Juggernaut, with this Rampage. Sorry. I keep calling it Juggernaut just because it says Juggernaut there in this Rampage, because it becomes a Juggernaut. You love it. I can hear you next to me every single time Skullkid goes into it.
Takes the form of a massive Juggernaut. I need to say it in an epic manner as he does it.
Okay. Maybe we can work on that.
Maybe.
During the actual game.
Maybe not during the actual game.
Yeah, but if it's a Lord Rush.
You're never allowed to do it live.
The Juggernaut comes in.
Oh, I guess so. But it's more likely to be the Helseth Lord Rush if, for anything.
Yes, that is very true. We will load Juggernaut Lord Rush.
Juggernaut
Needs
Lord
to be
Rush.
a thing.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thing.
All right, game number 2 on the way very, very soon here for you guys. So already a brilliant game number 1. Really good stuff. TCG is already up and good to go. We're just waiting now on 55 HP Monks to be good as well. Really cool to see Jigglypuff also doing really, really well here on 55 HP.
Yeah, it's again, you know, another name change for him moving over towards that team. Whether or not this is going to be a permanent lineup, you know, based on tonight, you'd be silly not to.
Yeah, it's really yeah, I mean, let's beat Orange Logo, TCG, and then let's not just continue on.
Let's just stop there.
Yeah,
let's
I think
end
that's
on
enough.
a high note.
That's enough for us.
Why not?
1K. We don't want to rival for WTS. No way. No point. No point.
Why? I mean, why not?
You gotta travel. Oh, how annoying! You gotta carry your mouse and keyboard. Oh, that's really difficult.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, tough stuff. All right, so now we're just waiting on TCG to be ready. It looks like we had someone leave there momentarily.
I think so. What we think is going to happen here, if anyone, like you said, will go for a Lord Rush, it'll be TCG. We saw that before.
It's powerful.
We've seen it, yeah, very powerful for these guys. Having tons of interrupts for the Lord to make sure that he's not going to be able to heal as well. You know, you've got 2 supply grates. You've got tons of knockbacks coming out with the rifle number 4. You've got the slick shoes. You've then got Helseth who can come in and cause the danger. He can come in as well with the knockback 5. You can use the mower, of course. And you've got Karzez who can interrupt. Every single member of their team is going to be useful in that Lord Rush. Yeah. And also, if someone goes down, they can just bring the banner out as well if they all decide to push that. I don't think we saw Drezzy push towards that fight. He was just back on the map to make sure that they kept some caps. But also, I think blue team, they do have that potential as well. If they pick up Skull Kid, you know, he drops that rampage. He can use that stability to get the res if he should need. He can actually pull out some nice CC along with also Doctor as well as Jigglypuff bringing that updraft. There were some nice combinations there where we saw the Shadow Refuge coming out from Karzez, and then we saw Tan coming in actually with a really nice ring of warding and a ton of burst. But then also, you know, already TCG had kind of escaped from that situation, knowing exactly what had happened. They'd already got the use out of their Shadow Refuge. They needed to move, but it did force them to use a couple of cooldowns when they did disengage from that encounter, of course, as well. But yeah. Blue team?
Blue team.
Win?
Win? You think so?
I like TCG though on this map with the Lord.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They are pretty good on this map. It's not even just the potential power that they have behind a Lord kill once they hit that 350. It's the way in which they can orchestrate it to even just go for the portal play into kill gates into kill Lord, because it's very speedy and you've got to be super fast on your reaction times to know that it's happening and then just go for it. Of course, you've always got to keep it in the back of your mind when it does hit those 350 points or is gearing up towards those 350 points. And people, you read Twitch chat from time to time and people joke around like, haha, PvE sports or whatever. But the point is that it's so valid, so important, and it's an extra dynamic that these players have to keep in their mind once they get into the later stages of this game, which makes it all the more dynamic.
Exactly. It's not just about the cap points. It's really a good comeback mechanic. I still really enjoy this map. I enjoy casting it for that very reason, because they can add so much hype. Yeah, so much hype.
All right, well, let's get into it. 6 seconds. Game number 2 here between 55 HP Monks and the Civilized Gentlemen, as we have the grand finals of the Go4GuildWars monthly final.
Indeed. Going to go on to Red Team's perspective. I don't feel like I give them enough love, actually, so I'm just going to watch their launch out into the map. We are going to see Jigglypuff going for the move over towards the waterfall, as Helseth and actually Karzez are going to get this early stealth move up, actually. Good line of sighting there from the Elementalist, Jiggly over on the waterfall. They're not going to engage there. They're actually going to choose to do mid. Look, just over on the side there, you can see, again, that same position that Salt used earlier in the other map when we saw them on faux fire. A lot of people doing that, waiting for the engage, waiting for the patient movement into the map. And we are actually going to see no one drop very low at all here, as everyone is very cautious, actually.
Kaz has got big shoes to fill on TCG with that kind of movement there from Lord Helseth, who probably does orchestrate. Lord Helseth, though, goes pretty darn low here, as Chosen Sin is right on top of him as he does pop out, and will be able to bring him down very fast. Likewise, Kaz has gone down as well. Oh, where is he? Where was he?
They are asking for a restart, actually, as Helseth apparently is DC'd.
Okay.
Gotta wait for the call on this.
I was going to say, because that was not like Helseth, actually, to just disappear.
He is still in the game, though. I mean, we know that the long DC can happen, so we're just going to wait for a call coming out.
Okay.
Yeah,
It seems like we're just restarting. That was a little bit bizarre. He did die extraordinarily fast in that situation there.
Okay, I have to actually rotate all the maps again. So we are going to have to just quickly go through this. And yeah, we're not ending that. Like, we have to, he's gone offline. I mean, you know, just it's one kill. I'd rather just see, if they can do that, they can do it again.
Yeah, no doubt.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Good shot, though.
That was, I mean,
great shots.
I'm not used to seeing Helseth die in those positions that quickly. So that's why I was a bit like, wait a minute, and I was like, wow, that kind of reaction.
Wow, that was a really great reaction.
Yeah, that was
surprise. If anything,
I can do that.
Excuse me if I'm looking down. I'm just kind of game ending.
No problem at all. So we're just going to rotate around to the second map again here with obviously the blue team with 55 HP marks, currently at 1-0 in the lead at the moment in this best of 3. And just to kind of keep you up to speed, just in case you don't know exactly what just happened, apparently Helseth had a bit of a disconnection issue. And from there on, they were asking for a restart to that particular game. So, as I was saying, though, at the very beginning of that game, I mean, we see Helseth as well as the Thief. Previously, it was Sizer, correct, on TCG?
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day, it was Helseth and Sizer that normally split themselves off with that little kind of stealth move. Now Kaz is there going for that stealth move again with Helseth. It's a very, very powerful little tool that you can use in that initial split to try and get some... a jump on their opponents, as they were, and a little bit of extra big damage, and a bit more of a disruption tactic to try and catch your opponents where they don't necessarily want you to be.
Yeah, and they've actually done it every single time they're stealthed up. Normally as well, when I've seen them, they've normally stealthed up at the top, wondering, you know, who's going to be at that far node. And because it was Jigglypuff and it was the Elementalist, you know, they know that they're not going to be able to take him out quickly.
Yeah.
So they'll go back to mid. Either that or because it looked like they were thinking about moving in there.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was an engineer, they might have actually chosen that target. But they went back to mid and, you know, Helseth DC'd, and that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah. Well, for now, we're just waiting for Helseth to get back into this game. So let's jump on in once again here for our game number 2 to figure out exactly how this is going to go down. Hopefully all the players should be ready because, I mean, we'd already started and they shouldn't really be doing anything in between these things. And so Jigglypuff.
Yeah, they're rethinking their opening.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You completely understand that. If you open up in a certain way and it has all been revealed here after a regame, which has been approved by our admins, then you just kind of want to, you know, mess around with things, not be a predictable team, not try, because obviously, I mean, if TCG, obviously realizing what that opening was, they could try and exploit that if it was exactly the same. But I mean, to the double bluff, they could just do the same opener. Haha.
They probably will.
Yeah, probably.
Just because, you know, it's a strong one.
Yeah.
Stick your warrior over in the mid, you know, he can bring out, it's just
and Jigglypuff being on that node towards Waterfall, I mean, you were saying before it's difficult to bring him down or an Elementalist down in that situation, but it's especially difficult to bring someone like Jigglypuff down who has so much experience in high-octane situations. I mean, he's a WTS champion. Like, there's not much higher than that.
Yeah, and anyone that participated in that tournament, you can't deny that they've got to be a good player to get to that situation in the first place, you know, or at least have the potential to be. And, you know, they just didn't want to do that because he can get... we saw him on Forest get away from that DPS team as well very successfully to the point where he got backed up and pushed them away, you know. We just saw the DPS Guardian come in. We saw him push away Karzez as well into that Shadow Refuge. And that was a nice move from the team. There's already clear, good lines of communication within this team, even though they haven't been together that long.
Yeah.
So in that short amount of time, they've been able to really do some nice damage to our top-tier teams. What are they going to be like in a week's time? What are they going to be like in a month's time? And then what are they going to be like in terms of the rest of the Go4s and the qualification for the WTS?
It's true. Twitch chat's tickling me at the moment. DCG. I'm loving it. It's fun. Let's not be too harsh, guys.
They've had some issues in tournaments recently.
Let's not be too harsh. Let's not be too harsh. All right. Let's get into it then. Game is ready to go. Game number 2. 2.5, whatever you want to call it here, in the grand final between the TCG or DCG and 55 HP Monks as we get into it. It all rhymes, so it's beautiful in turn. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure it is. Let's have a look at the guys. They're going to be going again. I'm going to stick with them because I'm just going to see if they're going to do it again. There you go. It's not changed. Oh, Helsef missing out on that stuff there, unfortunately. They are going to actually go for it this time, although Helsef's just going to go for the split. Karzez is going to go back to mid. They're dropping for the portal for later. So Jiggly knows that's there now. He's going to be able to see that. Blue team have been quite patient as they start to stealth up and move up to the top here. They know where the two DPS guys are. Everyone's dancing around. Jiggly's actually moved to mid now. Helsef's gone through to go and get the decap. Very patient using that stealth here. But if they can actually pick up the kill on Texby, that's going to outnumber in the map and very quickly. And Izatu already used that proc and easily taken down there. They're going to give up the actual waterfall cap. Helsef isn't going to be able to stay there versus Jiggly. No way. He's going to have to actually bail off there in the end. And actually, Jiggly's probably going to get some... Here he comes. No, he's actually going to get +1 by Karzez. Karzez is going to come in for the quick kill on Jiggly. They're going to take him out. But the thing is, because he's done that, that's why I'm just unbelievable movement that he's moved there and sacrificed a key member of the team, Drazit, over on the mid. I'm not sure about that decision.
It's difficult.
Obviously, no, it's no way. It's way too low.
Yeah, I mean, with Helsef there and Karzez, obviously it's huge burst potential, and yeah, they can pretty much guarantee themselves a node here unless there is a rotation on around, but you're right, you've got to think about the bigger picture during those kinds of moves. That being said, they are ahead in points. They have got themselves that waterfall. Not going to get themselves Quarry, though, just yet at least.
They're going to take out Zan here as well.
Yeah, he's locked down.
Oh, he's used the vampirism proc. Texby comes in with a heal there, blasts it for the extra regeneration there for Zan. He's going to actually be raised up a ton here. They're going to try and take out Lord Helsef over on the distance, but Zan's going to try and come in with his own heal, blasting that. We're going to see the jump shot coming out from Doctor, and Lord Helsef's going to get out of this. He's got a bit of burning and poison though as he starts to move away there from that point. Zan's going to get the knockback. They're going to get able to get a lot of decaps on this point and get some caps in their favor. They're going to have to come back onto the node. Doctor's in a bit of trouble here. Zan might apply some pressure there. He's actually just trying to cleave down Chosen Sin, dropping some nice chill on him as he actually disengages and goes towards Skull Kid for some potential support. And Zan needs to be careful about his committal. But we have actually seen again the actual two members coming over to take Jigglypuff out on this node.
Yeah, and I feel that Jigglypuff is never going to really be safe in this game if he's not careful. I mean, Helsef and Karzez are always going to be looking for that kill if they can get it. Shadow Refuge gets dropped TF by Karzez. He gets pushed out of that, though. A really good little updraft there, I guess, from Jigglypuff.
He's Chosen Sin. He's stealth. They've been so focused on Jiggly. If Chosen Sin can get the damage, Karzez has seen him. Gets the panic strike immobilized onto Karzez as well. And he's got a little bit of a burning tick on him. Chosen Sin got to be careful here as he comes back onto the node. Helsef pursues him, so he can't continue his burst down onto Karzez. But Chosen Sin just nips onto him, takes him into the down state. And Helsef doing a nice jump knockback there to potentially get the res. He's going to risk it. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be too lucky here. And if they can maybe even push off node and get the kill onto Helsef, this would be a very successful water purposeful take and actual move back into the map.
Yeah, that dance between the two 2v2s was really actually quite fun there. But, of course, down towards Quarry, all gone to TCG here. Graveyard still in favor here of them. Oh, and they do take that waterfall finally. So
there you go. Skull Kid's in that rampage right now as well to bring his HP up and actually CC until until these team members can actually come back and actually help him out here. We've seen the portal come out, looking out where Hailsif is. They know where he's gone over to the waterfall. Zan's actually, look at that block there, blocking Jiggly to actually bring out that CC. But the thing is, if Chosen Sin and Jigglypuff can come in and actually get that kill on him, they're going to be focusing on the kill. They don't care about the node. They want to knock him out. They've done the nice updraft there, which is going to put some CC on him. Chosen Sin's going to look at the focus, try and get that Panic Strike Immobilize off on him as well. We're going to see a ton of damage coming in. We're also going to see Blurred Frenzy coming out from Hailsif to cleave. And unfortunately, in the end, I think Chosen Sin just gets caught by some off damage there. And Jigglypuff is going to have to disengage.
Yeah. Well fought out there by TCG.
Yeah.
Well fought out. That could have really kind of spiraled out of control for them if they'd have lost Zan, I think it was, who was on the run out. But, well, regardless of that, they've got themselves 2 caps at the moment. Once again, a very, very close game. Graveyard still in the hands here of 55 HP Monks, but Tan is going to end up falling down. Dr. Shiba has to dodge out of there. He knew a lot of cleave was coming in, did not want to be taking that damage himself. And just going to have to back out and try and help Skull Kid out, but he goes down as well. Really, really good play here by TCG so far, who Skull Kid was mowed during that, I think.
Yeah, I think we're actually going to see TCG potentially pick up a 3 cap here. I mean, at least the 2 cap with the D cap. They're moving over for the fast attack over onto Waterfall. Jiggly is actually going to go towards mid. Is he going to try and keep it contested? Red team aren't even going to think about getting a cap, although Draz is going to start to move forward to pick up that node. And we're going to see TCG do an aggressive push / defense over towards the Waterfall now. As blue team start to respawn, it's an easy place to go for, kind of predictable as well. But maybe blue team feel that this is a place where they can effectively push. A nice way for Tan to get some nice damage onto Texby there, dropping that Ring of Warding and getting a nice banish off. But look, the support comes out from Helsef. He brings the portal and he takes Texby away. Great defense there. And Texby is actually going to drop into the Vampirism Rune proc there and probably be taken out here. So good pursuit. They knew where he was going.
Yeah.
They kept up the focus, and a lot of the time that does not happen.
And now, that triple cap for a long time was kind of spiraling out of control. Waterfall has finally been taken away from them here momentarily. Should be a full cap here. And maybe they'll try and stage their aggression down towards this graveyard. But for now, it's looking a bit difficult. That's a 100-point lead that they've got here. And with 350 points looming, we all know how deadly TCG with Helseth can be on this map.
Yeah, but he might be in a situation here. He's going to have to stay on node to actually make sure that, you know, he keeps it. He's going to get the decap here, Jiggly. If he gets some condies off onto Helsef, he's going to have an issue. And he's actually going to stay there. Gets the updraft. If Jiggly can jump onto it, Helsef's going to disengage. He doesn't want to get too close. He doesn't want to get those close quarters off, to be honest, because he doesn't want to get those extra condi ticks onto him. We are going to stick with this, actually, for a moment, because he's doing a good job against Jigglypuff. He's being patient, and that's essentially what's helping him out here. If Jiggly is actually going to move away, he might actually get the kill.
Jeez.
Wow, that patience, because Zan came in as well. Jiggly was so committed that he wasn't really aware of that presence, and he had to start moving out. But they've got the kill on Draze there. Because they +1 that fight, they've lost, again, a big member of their team, the support warrior there. They're going to put a ton of cleave down, the Ring of Warding, to prevent anyone from coming in for that res. Texby's going to drop very low. He's committing to it so much. He's going to get the Chaos Armor off the blast there. And Doctor is actually going to drop very low. They don't want to lose him because they've just lost Jiggly. They have kept it equal in terms of losing those support. But we still see TCG with the 2 cap.
Kaz's is looking for the decap on Waterfall as well. So that will really, really hurt the position here. 55 HP. Again, you know, we said it going into this game, TCG look really, really good on this map at the moment. And so far, it's going all right. That being said, Tan is getting the decap in mid, and Zan's not really reacting to that. to try and contest it. Likewise.
He doesn't get it in the end. He dropped the Juggernaut to jump on the node as fast as possibly can. Of course, that's stability-wise, but does get feared in the end.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that does mean that Drazzy can pick up the node and hold it successfully. Skullkid's not going to be able to get him off that point and is in a very bad situation now in that 1v2. Blue team need to be taking out people across the map, but they're not. Doctor is in the down state towards the henge now as we're going to see that distortion coming out from Helseth. Tons of damage. And unfortunately, blue team looks like they're going to have to retreat back towards the mid now. But Kazes has jumped onto node. He's going to get the decap. No one's ready. No one's there to try and test it. And they're just getting more and more points. And the absolute awesome movement from TCG coming out across this map means that they're locking down the points and really doing a good job. I'm surprised that Blue lost a member over towards that quarry where TCG were 2v1ing over on Wolf.
Oh, they're losing everyone. Jigglypuff's gone into the down state. Tan was quite low, kept himself nicely healed up though, in the mid there against Kazes and Zan, but he ends up falling and this is too much. This is too much. It's 200-point lead now with TCG looking to equalize things up, and there's not that much time left for them to really stage this comeback. They need to get caps and maybe even just go for Lord here to 55 HP, but that's going to be very difficult.
Nah, they're kind of standing there now. They know that the game's over, pretty much, but they're not going to GG.
Everyone's dead. Everyone is dead.
Everyone is dead, Dave.
Super dead. Oh, well. And Kazes is even working on the gate as well, because why on earth not? As he ends up bringing that down. And they could just go in even if they wanted to. So, there you go. I'm AFK, no problem.
Bit of an anticlimactic end there.
Well,
it's still a very, very, very awesome performance from TCG.
Powerful performance from TCG in game number 2. There you go. GG. Game number 2 goes over to them. They will tie up this series, and we will go on to our third game to decide our rubber match on Kylo to figure out who is going to be victorious.
Third map. Well, someone did say I'm AFK, no problem there. So I'm wondering if we did see a DC and I just didn't notice.
I think they just kind of knew that they'd won. Zan actually throwing that out in the end. So
okay,
yeah.
So going on to this final map. Battle of Kylo, we've not seen it tonight.
No.
It's a really, really good map for Mesmers, of course.
Yes.
We've got some great mobility from those guys. Chosen Sin as well is going to be good for him. Jiggly is going to be great for him as well. Obviously, Karzez and Chosen Sin. I think, Tan's going to have a nice time on this map as well. I've predicted there are definitely going to be some, just random pops from the Treb and those respawns that we see, those kind of kills that come out across the map. We'll just see a shot flown into mid, which might make the difference. Even if people have to use their dodge to survive that shot, it's going to mean a lot of the burst potential that comes out from these players can be a little bit more useful. But yeah, I mean, we've never seen these guys. Well, we haven't seen really these guys together before tonight, so that's really not the point at all. But I don't know. I mean, they were so ridiculously strong on that map, and they didn't even go for Lord.
Yep. Yeah, they had it on lockdown, pretty much on lockdown. So, I mean, I don't know how much experience even TCG has playing against this composition specifically, but maybe in map number 1 to map number 2, they were finding their stride. There is these kind of potential things that come out in team games like, well, sometimes, I mean, it doesn't even happen just in team games. It can happen in 1v1 games as well that I've seen a lot of in esports, where you just have this kind of mental block or just a composition or just even just players of similar, races or classes comes along and just counter you pretty well. And it takes you a little while to really kind of grasp exactly how they're playing. So maybe that's a factor. Maybe TCG can just plow on from here. Because once again, as I say, I think that they are going to have the better communication and the better coordination out of these two teams because of experience with one another alone.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right about the surprise factor being such an important thing that comes in. Exactly. Trying to get used to how they're playing. Yeah. But they came so close in that. And maybe they got it to a degree, but, that first game was very, who got the last hit. It was so close. TCG probably, they could have won the thing by now. If they just got
this could have been a 2-0.
And
technically.
Yeah, I'm loving this. Today's been a good show.
Yeah, we've had some good games.
Good games. I know we've had 2-0s, but 2-0s in Guild Wars 2 can still mean good series.
Yeah. All right. So I think we should be good to jump into game number 3 now. We are just waiting on one more member of our lovely blue team being 55 HP monks. It's funny because I always, in my head, as much as the colors are based on like where they've come from in the bracket, I always envision in my head 55 HP monks being red and TCG being blue. You know? Like, the reason I say this is because 55 HP monks, they have the red logo, and it's kind of the health bar thing, you know, where 55 HP monks only have 55 HP. Never mind. The point is that this is kind of where I think, in my head,
What?
civilized gentlemen don't wear red, right? They're more likely to wear blue.
So you think they would wear a similar shirt to you most of the time?
Oh, why, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you noticed that. All right, anyway.
I notice these things.
Okay, so we are just waiting. It was a minor jab towards myself. I was doing well for myself there. Briefly.
We won't jab you down. nothing but happy times.
All right, so, of course, now just waiting. I can't read that. Red coats. Red coats. Maybe.
About the English.
But, yeah. We do well with our red coats.
There's a lot of English.
I think it was when we did WTS in Boston. We were like, let's turn up in just red jackets. They're like, the English are invading. The English are invading. And in Boston.
No bayonets, though.
Boston Tea Party, mate. We'll do it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's always next time.
My brother was terrible with that. He's like, can you bring me some tea back? I'm like, I'm not sure you want tea from Boston. I'd rather prefer our English tea.
Says the man that lives in Germany.
Yeah. Which I do go to the English shop and I do buy my English tea.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
I definitely do.
Uh-oh. We're getting a few people against us today.
That's fine. I'm not too bothered. It's okay. People can hate me if they like. So that's fine by me. All right. So I've been in esports for a while. By now, I've developed very thick skin.
I'm just getting used to it at the moment. I'm getting there.
Yeah, you'll get there eventually, mate. All right. So we are just waiting for Tan. He is in the game now. In this final game of this best of 3 in the grand final of the Go4GuildWars2 monthly final. As these teams should be ready to go very soon. I don't think there's been any changes looking at the lineups, unless for some reason someone changed something out. Checking on Rampage again, it's still there. So all is good and well in the world.
Okay, I think there was an idea that maybe SkullKid wasn't able to participate for some reason, and maybe they're going to get a sub, but it appears that
he's back.
He's going to be back.
So
okay.
Let's think about this again. Do you think that there have been moments in these games where SkullKid could have made use of a banner to great effect for them to try and claw it back, or do you think that Rampage has been doing enough here so far?
That's an interesting point you bring up, because on the waterfall, SkullKid actually saved that point from being decapped because he was in that Rampage. But the problem is that he got feared off the point as soon as he got out of it, and it only saved the point to a degree, and then he was 1v2 and he died. And then over on the quarry, really, you would have expected the blue team would have picked up a kill there, being outnumbering them on the map. But actually TCG, outnumbered, they just came back from that deficit and actually got the kill themselves. And then the 2 team members that were over on the waterfall could come back over to the fight, finish them off, and finish the game, which is essentially what happened, really, in the end. That was a big pinnacle moment for the guys over on the blue, really, to stop playing, to be honest. Because, demoralized by that exponential lead that's kind of started to occur when they got a couple of free caps. So, yeah, I mean, it might be useful. I actually do think the banner might be useful, but the thing is they know that they can be locked down. They've got so much CC that they're just taking out the banner. Yeah. I was in that perspective of Knight over on the Foe Fighter for the whole time when Honey went down, and also their Guardian as well. Because I was just interested to see how TCG were going to cope with this. And also because it was going to be a big hype moment. I was actually hoping that Knight was going to come into the node, we would see that animation come off, and you see him bring those 2 players back, come back and actually take that fight. But TCG did the opposite. And in fact, that's kind of a hype moment in itself, just because of the amount of CC that they locked him down with. And then getting the 3-man kill and then ending the game that way with that Lord Rush. So, whew. Been some different interesting moments this evening. Yeah, they have. We would normally see.
They were just discussing tactics there, and that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Obviously,
Blackjack. This is the big last game, yeah.
Yeah, it's a difference between 700 euros, and it's funny because I think last month I said dollars accidentally, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course it's different. But then I was like, wait a minute, no, it's pretty much not nowadays.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Thanks to our terrible crashing euro here in Europe.
I'm from England.
That's true, you are. And thankfully, I have a second bank account, which is currently in pound sterling, so I'm okay. Not that I'm doing badly anyway. But the thing is, the best thing about it all is that in that economical state, Germany is the one that will lead the way to glory once again. So thank you, Germany, for trying to save us in Europe. We're getting all political here, but I'll stop.
Is it because of the? It's because of the voting in England tomorrow, isn't it?
There is that. Yes, there is that.
It's pretty big.
It is soon, right? Like, it is tomorrow. I mean, they asked me to vote from abroad, and I said, I'm fine. I'll leave it for now. Yeah. So. All right.
Interesting, though. Very interesting.
The Germany economic power of strength, of glory and victory will lead us forwards into the darkest of nights.
Everyone in the studio raises their
Of course. It's funny because there's only one German here out of the 4.
That's true. Yeah, we do have actually Mr. Chronic Gamer in the house.
He's lurking in the shadows.
He is. He's checking out the action tonight.
Yep. We sadly can't have him on today because we do have a different setup. The other studio, the 3-man setup, is being used for the Pro League for Counter-Strike, I believe. So eventually, once we have a 3-man setup again, we will be bringing Nick back into action.
Oh, yes.
We will be rallying him forwards. We will be bannering him back, and he will be here to fight alongside us. All right, so now still...
Without the fighting, hopefully.
Yeah. No, I like fighting. It's okay. Fighting around the world. As we have... Hopefully this tactic is down here for him. It's a very, very complicated opener that they're running. And Dr. Sheba. What does Sheba mean, actually?
Sheba.
Nick, what does Sheba mean? Fence?
The match starts
Fence. White picket fence.
Can be window. So Dr. Window-ish.
Dr. Window. Anyway.
All right.
In the final of the...
Sorry, Nick. I'm gonna have to go away as we do have the game starting. I thought I'd find out anyway. I'd try at least. It was worth a shot. As we get into game number 3 here in the grand final of the Go4GuildWars2 monthly final. Let's go.
Indeed, as we go over towards the midpoint now. We're going to have a look at Zan. He's just going to be nipping over to the windmill. We're going to have the close points taken. Kaelaris is going to challenge that, though. Helsef actually challenging... He did drop in to go for that trap shot earlier, actually straight off from the word go. He's gone for that. Using that blink potentially as he comes out of the spawn to get out there quite quickly. Actually using that distortion there to get away from the Guardian on the other side. Skull Kid really getting focused here. He's going to go low. He's going to have to line of sight and really get out of it as he runs away. He is going to survive. Look at Jiggly and the other guy's coming back in. Oh, Helsef's not able to get that cleave car off from the Blurred Frenzy. Yeah. And he goes down himself. Again, we see those warriors when they do that. They run away, drawing the DPS in. And when they do that, the rest of the DPS team that's coming up from behind can take out those guys, and that's a perfect example again of it, which is very reminiscent of what Rom and Knight Jr. do. But unfortunately here, we're going to see also Drazid dropped as well, and I did miss to see whether or not he'd used that banner at all down there, but I don't believe he did, so thankfully that's still in play.
That's the thing, even more important to note is that Skull switched over to banner, right? So he didn't have Rampage to get out of that situation. It's not like he could just boost his health and just get out of there. So very, very important for him to be staying alive, make sure that that banner can be in play just in case some of his members elsewhere were to fall. So for now, though, over towards Mansion, still kind of being contested. Jigglypuff's going to try and push down Texby. Dr. Sheba is on the way to try and help out. And Cassius is stealthing in that little fountain for a second and looking to get onto Dr. Sheba. So he's got to be careful.
I mean, the problem here is that Blue Team have only just taken advantage of this. And now look at Kaelaris, he's stealthed. Blue Team, be aware of this, but they're going to get the kill on Texby. But the thing, they're only just about getting a bit of an advantage in this situation. They're going to take Texby down. They'll pick up the cap over on the Mansion. but they need to be careful mid. They can +1 mid now, and actually they can actually push on Zan and kill him, but they've just got to wait for the respawn as well. So it's not the best position to be in. They want to get this mansion locked down, slowly build that lead. Helseth's kind of poking around over there as well. We see him very low. He's got to be careful here. He's dropped the portal. He's actually going to die in conditions there, unfortunately. A really nice, good job from Doctor there. He's able to just fling out those grenades and just put some nice conditions onto him. And yeah, just unfortunate, really.
Yeah, really good pressure from Doctor. You're right, with Helseth now falling, and really nothing that can actually save him there at that point. And he may as well just bleed out as quickly as possible so they can get back into the fight. Skull Kid, likewise, though, in mid is ended going to go down into the downstate, and I'm not sure how much really help he has here available to him. That's a lot of cleave that was thrown down on his location. Nobody really wants to go anywhere near that.
And that's just it's interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, blue team, they were 5v4 on the map. Yeah. And they've even lost the cap over on the mansion. So they were even outnumbered even more over on the midpoint. And yet still TCG are able to sustain that and get a kill. That's the amazing thing about it. And they're going to get the kill on Jiggly as well. So even though blue team had the two-cap advantage and the extra kill, they still didn't really come out of that too well, even though they've just taken the lead. We did see Chosen Sin going for the decap though, so that's a good job to wait for those respawns to come back in and to actually keep a point contested on the map. Maybe push over towards the windmill now. We're just going to have a look in the wide angle, just see Chosen Sin's movement. Helseth's trying to range from the above as well.
Yeah,
oh, Tan!
Oh, almost down, and there's no way you're really going to save him from that point on. It's up to Skull Kid here to throw down the banner, picks him up, and will get straight back on in there. But he's going to fall again. I mean, there was not really much option he could do other than go in for the fight and try and run away, but it would have been very, very difficult. He will knock back his opponents there with the Wave of Light, but it's not going to be successful. And the thing is that Jigglypuff, with his tactics that he's bringing and the initial splits that they go for are really, really powerful, but I still feel that TCG, throughout this series, and then into this one especially as well, after that split goes down there from Jigglypuff's side, now TCG gains the traction, and with this 2-cap, it's looking like that.
But the thing is, as soon as they start to get a small advantage, someone is countering that on TCG from around the map. Now blue team are starting to do it, but they're not doing it as quickly. They can't actually pull off the same maneuvers that TCG are trying to actually achieve, that TCG are achieving at the moment. They're not able to do it, and even when outnumbered, look, Drazzy's going to go down mid, but how much is that really going to impact the game for TCG? Because it didn't before. He's not got the support, they've not got the banner, but he's gone down several times, the first member of the team, and TCG have still held on to it. Let's have a look how this goes on for them. They've managed so far. No one can really stay on node. Texby's gone down below to actually just regen himself. They're going to run outside. They've actually got the decap, which is very, very, very good. And they've actually taken Karzairs down. So they've started to actually get something from this. But Helseth's going to get the distortion res. Where is the extra damage coming out on that man to bring him into the downstate and take out that very valuable member of the team?
Yeah, they got a good capitalization off that, but of course, but at the same time now, still 1 cap for 1, TCG still in the lead. They really need that clock tower. They need to be able to secure it, and then from that point on, be totally okay. They are trying desperately. They're very, very close to actually picking that up here, our 55 HP Monks. But once again, Drazzy is able to push them off node for now, with Jigglypuff jumping back on, and they don't want it to sway over in Drazzy's favor here with Zan on the rotation on around. Helseth had to jump out there briefly to make sure that he's going to keep himself alive. And he'll try and find another location, or maybe just jump in soon.
Oh, sorry, not Chosen, Skull Kid here on the side. Sorry to interrupt here. I thought he was actually going to be taken out there. We are actually going to see Jigglypuff being taken into the downstate, and he's going to vapor form back onto node. No one's going to be able to res him, unfortunately, and we might see the blue team start to switch over towards Windmill, which is exactly what's happening. Chosen Sin going for the decap over there. Should successfully get it. They don't want to give him even more of a lead. He's actually going to try and escape Zan here. Tan's going to come in for the double man team over onto Zan as well. They can get that nice port, maybe a knockback soon when he gets back into that hammer. That would be quite nice. But actually, Zan's going to bail out here, and we are going to see some nice bursts coming out from Chosen Sin. They just want to be careful here because Karzairs and also Drazzy are coming out. Just maybe a little bit of a... he's going to disengage from that. And Tan is not in a great position. He's really stuck alone with the Thief. This isn't going to be great for them.
They need Windmill or something. I mean, they need to get themselves back on the board, really. At the moment, TCG leading quite nicely. Tan is going to end up falling here over at that windmill. And then from that point on, they can just move down towards Clock Tower and making sure that that's not going to be taken at all. Drazir, as well as Kazirs, are going to be on their way to make sure that Chosen Sin and Jigglypuff cannot contest this.
Yeah, not at all. Skullkid just coming in now as well. Two of the really good people to be on this node. Now, Helseth dropped into the point. He's very low. They can take advantage of that. Start switching focus onto him.
Oh, okay.
As he comes onto the point. But now he's back up to almost full HP. Half HP, sorry.
Zan left Windmill just a tick early, so he didn't quite have the cap. But now he's got the 2 caps, so all is good. All is happy in TCG world, as they can just hold on to these 2 points, and it's going to be up to 55 HP to really make a move. But can they at the moment? I feel TCG is really on lockdown at the moment.
Yeah, they've got that lockdown. Exactly, again, the same situation they were in kind of on Fofire. But now, because Doctor is always looking after the back point, because he's so paranoid now that Cars is going to get that easy decap, that, you know, they're missing him from a lot of the action. Because Blue Team are engaging fully across the map, they're actually able to outnumber them in different situations. They're not evening the fights out too well. So over on the mid, they're having a bit of an issue where they're currently outnumbered. Although Kaz is very low here. And also, he's going to jump over towards that mansion point, potentially thinking about the decap. Skullkid very low himself. They really need to start thinking they need to pressure these nodes so fast. They can't hold the mansion the way it is because they're outnumbered in the map. Look, they're 4v5 over here at the moment.
So,
about that portal as well.
Carlos is onto Skullkid here, trying to chase him down. He's very, very low. He knew exactly where he was trying to pursue forwards and does jump out for now out of that fight. Skullkid manages to get away.
Yeah, really nice movement from him. Had to be careful there. The shot comes out as long as the Berserker. We can see the decap. No! Zan gets onto the node just in time. And Skullkid really is, the focus is really on him, gets knocked back there by Zan as well. I think Kaz is probably going to come onto him as well in a moment. He's going to surround himself in that cleave. Needs to be very careful. He starts to get regenerated by Jiggly here. Uses that sword to escape again. He is permanently on the move. And that's the job of the Sharpbow Warrior. Keep moving around. Keep that support up. Stay alive. Make sure you bring out that banner. Get that DPS focus onto the other guys. But look, they're not able to do anything over here. Yeah. The point lead is just extending and extending. And I'm apologizing for being in his view so long. Now Doctor gets involved in the rest of the map. He can get that decap versus Drazir. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a bit too late because Skullkid's gone into the down state here over on this point.
Yeah, this is really difficult, unfortunately, for them. I've been watching Kaz's movement for the majority of the game, and now he gets Mansion as well.
That's got to be
just beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. The engagements, the movement out, and then even the decap over towards the other side. Jigglypuff over in the down state now as well, and he will be finished off in glorious fashion here over towards the windmill. And that has got to be it. A really, really well played out game there by TCG, and I would say a really well played out series because to me it looked very evident from start to finish that they were just kind of finding their footing in that first game. Yeah. It was very close as well, and then from that point on, they really found good stability here against 55 HP with this not usual lineup that we're used to seeing.
And there is still a lot of, well, hopefully there is a lot of potential for these guys to come back and really show us what they've got. Because I mean, they have today, essentially, you know, beating Orange Logo, then beating TCG in that first game as well. We've got more contenders. We've got more stuff. And we've had this release into this Go4GuildWars2 Cup final of April, and we've got a new team. That is one of the biggest things that we're going to get out of this tournament today, as well as obviously the cash.
Yeah, that's kind of good as well. That is kind of good.
I'm personally happy about the team. I'm not getting the cash.
Well, congratulations to TCG for grabbing themselves that 1,000 euros as they're climbing back up. I mean, look at how they were able to perform today and look at the strength that they showed in that final as well. To, again, kind of really fully evaluate what was going on in those games was really impressive. Again, a big shout out to Kazas and the way he was playing his Thief. Really quite instrumental in some of the pickoffs there, some of the good decaps, and the movement in general. A very, very well played out final.
Cuz's was very, very important. You're completely right. And Zan's combination with Tex being in those situations where they need to get that CC off onto those guys was just horrible. You just see people flying across the map, you know, and getting that good combination CC off in terms of also getting that nice damage off and just picking those targets. Sometimes, you know, 55 drew them into a point where they could get the odd kill here and there, but in the end, they couldn't take advantage of it. It was unbelievable how much sustain TCG had with a 4v5 situation, and they drew them because they were going for that constant pressure on their back node. Doctor was out of the game.
Yeah,
he was out of half
he was.
of that game. You know, so then when they were 4v5 on the map, which is an even worse situation for them to be in, because they couldn't go for the pressure, because Casters was getting the decaps, coming back to the fights, plus wanting when he needed to, getting those kills, doing his job, essentially. And, you know, as a team, they did fantastically well.
So congratulations to TCG taking first place here in our Go4 monthly finals. And second place, obviously, going over to 55 HP Monks. They will take away 300 euros, and the 100 euros goes to Orange Logo, and your goose is cooked. So that pretty much does it for today's show. It's a huge pleasure to bring you these games. A huge thank you to you guys for tuning in today. Any last words, Dan, before we ship you back off to England again?
Make sure you check out the NA Cup today with Blue, of course, especially as well. If you go to the forums, you can check out some information on what I mean there. And also, you know, thank you again for casting the cup with me as well. It's been a great night. And yeah, we've had a fantastic cup. We keep having these cups. We keep having awesome games. Keep watching. Keep putting yourself out there, guys. Keep entering. There is a lot on the line at the moment in Guild Wars 2 SPVP. And llamas are just one of the things.
That is true. That is true. All right. Huge thank you for joining us tonight, guys. We shall see you next time for more Go4 Guild Wars 2 monthly action.